Well, good evening and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School football. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro and being joined once again by Jim Allinder and Phil Hill as we get ready for the East Brunswick Edison football game. And gentlemen, this could be a good one tonight.
It really will be.
Phil, I know you scouted out, if you will, the Edison team. Give us a little background.
Well, Edison is coming off a 14-0 shutout by Middletown North, state champions last year, and they won their first game against John F. Kennedy 36-6. So they're a hard team to figure out at this point in time. Gary Reeder feels that his team's going to bounce back here. They have tremendous balance, good running in a kid named Scarpicchio, and this kid Bosley is one of the finer quarterbacks in the county. So we should have quite a shootout today.
Phil is upset on their mind.
They don't think it's an upset if they beat East Brunswick. They think they legitimately can beat East Brunswick. And after East Brunswick gave up over 300 yards against Madison Central last week, and this team can run and pass. So if they get the combination together, who knows what might happen.
Okay, and Jimmy, what about East Brunswick at this stage?
Well, I guess it would be kind of early to say that this is a must-win situation for East Brunswick, but I think it is. I really do. You know, having the opening season loss to Cherokee, Bears know that the competition is so intense and so good in the Central Jersey Group 4 that they can't afford another loss. And so tonight, if they have aspirations of winning the Red Division of the Greater Middlesex Conference and also of gaining a state playoff berth, they're going to have to win this game. And they have the tools to do it, of course.
Yeah.
We've seen what they can do when they play well. Brian Forte, as Phil mentioned, East Brunswick will likely not see a better quarterback this year than Mike Boslett from Edison. He has the same type of size as Brian Forte, excellent arm. I know what he can do from having watched him last year, and of course he had a decent game against East Brunswick following year. But it's probably going to evolve down to a game of Boslett to the top tight end for Edison, Scott Rubik, and Mark Harmon, who we know offensively is going to have an important role to play defensively, stopping Edison. If Edison can be stopped, I think East Brunswick does have the tools to, score offensively.
Okay, so we look for a good one here tonight at J. Doyle Field, East Brunswick against Edison, and we'll be back in a moment with the start of the game.
Please stand for our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed by the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the corridors sang. Oh, the ramparts we once was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in the air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Well, we're just a few minutes now before kickoff. It's alumni night here at J. Doyle Field, East Brunswick Edison, and it's a great night for football.
It really is, John. Boy, the weather's turned out nice.
We're waiting for the captains to come out to the center of the field to see who will be receiving the opening kickoff. Bears are warming up right in front of us. They're in the home green, Edison in the visitors' white.
As usual, the field is in excellent shape. you know, there's been a number of night soccer games and I think a couple of day soccer games that have been played here. And I think we have to give a credit to the East Brunswick grounds crew for maintaining the, you know, the field. It looks in excellent shape.
I hate to sound redundant, but I think East Brunswick is still trying to find themselves, and Edison as well. So tonight's game really should answer some questions for both of them.
Yeah, it really will. You know, I had an opportunity to see Madison Central, the team that East Brunswick played last week, play Saraville the evening before, and they played well, but they were kind of shut down by Saraville's defense. So I'm wondering whether, you know, East Brunswick just had an off night, or whether Madison's, you know, whether there is a number of things that need to happen with East Brunswick's defense before they can, you know, feel comfortable with the way they're playing. We'll see tonight, because Mike Boslett is going to really come out firing, I know, and they're going to, and of course East Brunswick has been seeing the blitz all season long, and I don't think anything will change. What do you think, Phil?
I think it might, surprisingly. Edison has a 4-4 defense, and they really just don't blitz a lot. And from talking to one of the coaches, they really haven't decided to change a whole lot about that. So.
Okay, East Brunswick has won the toss. They'll receive. They'll be moving left to right on your screen. And we're just about ready to go here.
If we have a second, I'll give you the East Brunswick offensive starting lineup. Okay, at split end, Ramon Trent, number 3. And Brian Forte will be the quarterback, number 16, with the running backs, Joe DeVito, 22, Mark Harmon, 34. Kevin Maloney will also be on offense, too. And let's see, taking a look at the line, Dave Clark, 56, will be at right tackle. Left tackle will be Don Sulfaconic, 62. Gene Kammerer, 59, at left guard. And the right guard will be 76, Roz Perez. And 85, Dave Potter, will be the tight end.
Okay, I think we need to mention that number 3, Trent, the proper pronunciation of his first name is
Rahman.
Rahman. His mother stopped me after the game last week against Madison Central, and I promised her I would do my best to correct it.
Okay.
Wade Alden, rather, number 68, will kick off for Edison. Do they have a kicking game, Phil?
Not that much to speak of. I asked the coach about it, and he sort of just said, I wish we did. So I don't think you see anything special, not in the way of field goals or anything like that.
Okay, and we're just about set to go here. East Brunswick comes in 2-1. Edison is 1-1. This is a big game in the GMC Red Division. And Alden will get the game underway. And it's a low kick on the ground, fielded by Joe DeVito. And DeVito up close to the 30-yard line, and that's where East Brunswick will start off tonight.
Well, you got your answer about Edison's kicking game, John. I think the coach wasn't too enthusiastic about it, and we can see why.
I think, gentlemen, we may see a little bit more of a control game tonight. At least that's what Borden was saying before the game. He wants to take advantage of the long pass, but yet we may see more running.
Okay, the Bears come out 1st and 10 on their own 29. First snap of the game. This is Harmon. And Mark will pick up maybe 4 yards before he steps out of bounds.
And look for Harmon to do the bulk of the ball carrying tonight. He carried, as we remember, 16 times last week against Madison Central. And he can be counted on as the workhorse back.
All right, they give him close to 5. Let's call it 2nd and 5. And a ball just shy of the 35-yard line. Inside handoff. I believe that was DeVito.
I'll tell you, if East Brunswick's going to run tonight, they better run the ends, because the strength of this Edison team is in the middle there. They're pretty beefy there, and their best players are right in the middle there. So they're going to find out sooner or later they're going to have to stay away from there.
Pickup of about 1. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Bears. Ball on the 36-yard line, their own 36. Split backfield. Forte's going to pass. Has some time. Looking down the middle deep. Looking for Trent. Ball incomplete, somewhat underthrown.
And Forte had some pressure there.
Edison's showing good defense, though.
So the Bears will be forced to punt on their first possession. Forte with a good kick. Ball is fumbled. East Brunswick's going to get it on the Edison 19-yard line. Fumbled by Waddell.
John Flynn on the recovery for East Brunswick. You know, I wanted to say that the punting game has been a strength of East Brunswick's all season long. I mean, Forte has been consistently getting off a number of kicks. I think his average coming into the game was 41 yards. Of course, that was just a matter of a fumble on Edison's part.
Well, he's easily the finest punter we've seen this year.
Grady Waddell fumbled the ball for Edison, and so East Brunswick with the first turnover of the game on the Edison 19, 1st and 10. Trent and Giroux split out wide, pumped by Forte. He's looking in the corner for Giroux, overthrown. And there were 3 Edison defenders on Giroux.
There were 3 defenders there, but Giroux did have a step on those defenders. The ball just was overthrown.
Of course, that has been an East Brunswick trademark to usually go for everything after a turnover. We've noticed that a number of times.
Second and 10 now for the Bears. 9:49 to go, first period. East Brunswick with a big opportunity. This is Harmon on a pitch. He's going to lose maybe a yard.
It's a good defensive play.
And you're going to see that defensive play by that young man all day. His name is Danny Herenzowitz. He's a transfer from Piscataway, and they tell me he's been outstanding this year. Number 66, look for him all day.
3rd and about 11 now for the Bears. Forte, he's got some time, rolling to his right, looks over the middle, he's got his man, Giroux.
That's going to be short, John.
He'll be short of the first down, and now we'll see what Marcus Borden wants to do. And they're going to send out Josh Miller. Surprised?
I would not be surprised here. I mean, you know, it's early in the game. 3 yards is a lot of yards. Edison has shown that they're tough on the run and also on the pass, and good opportunity for Josh to put one through.
I just got to believe that they finally got their heads together and decided Josh is a big part of the game, and they got to use him more.
All right, the ball spotted on the 11. This is going to be about a 19-yarder. Kick is up. And it's no good, wide left.
And you saw the bobble. You saw the bobble on the hold.
Yeah, that was a 29-yard attempt.
I did notice that East Brunswick had Troy Witt as the holder rather than Maloney, and I'm wondering if there was some reason for that.
Interesting observation.
Kevin Maloney has a sore shoulder. He's you may not see too much action by Kevin today, so that's probably the reason why we have someone else holding the ball today.
So the Eagles go on offense for the first time tonight. The ball is on their 20. Boslett's the quarterback, and he's a good one. Edison has 2 men split wide left. I formation. This is a handoff to 22. That's Scapiccio.
And Scapiccio is their workhorse. During the first game, he had 132 yards their first game, so you can expect to see him run an awful lot.
And he picked up 4. Let's call it 2nd and 6. The ball around the 24-yard line of Edison. Man in motion. This is Capiccio again, big hole. And a fine tackle there by Harmon.
I'll tell you what, Edison's line is huge, as we observed up top, and I have to think that Gary Reeder is going to go after the middle of that East Brunswick line, see if they can move people out and force East Brunswick to make some changes.
First down for Edison at their own 35. Inside, that's Fotheringham.
You remember him from last year, John?
You're going to have fun with that name.
Yeah.
Now, he's a good little fullback. He's just a steady, everyday player.
He'll pick up about a yard. Let's call it 2nd and 9. Ball just across the 35.
Wouldn't be surprised if Boslett does a little play action here and pops it.
Scapicchio, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And the Bears doing well to defense that play. Let's get some of the names in here. In the defensive backfield, Brunig, number 2. Maloney, number 12, is playing, along with Mark Harmon is back there. And in the linebackers are Mark Rulo, number 17, Matt Miller, number 46, and Flynn, number 55. We'll pick up the defensive lineman.
Okay, Matt Miller, who made the tackle, just came out of the game.
3rd and 9. I formation for Edison. Rubik in motion. Boslett looking for him. He's got him. And he'll be dropped. He drops the ball as well, but he recovers his own fumble short of the first down, and Edison will be forced to punt.
Okay, as they come off the field, DeGiovanni, 52, Sean Smith, 75, Shannon Holcomb, 88, and Mark Flynn, 91, are on that line.
I'll tell you, coaches hate to see that. You come up short. You need to get to the first down sticks before you make that break.
Boslett, no, I'm sorry. That's number 11, Wall.
I thought they were going to fake there.
Drops the ball, just gets the punt off. And we're going to have a roughing the kicker against East Brunswick as the ball bounds around the East Brunswick 30-yard line.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rulo got a late start and tried to make up for it and couldn't stop his momentum.
I'll tell you what happened was the ball hit the ground, and once the ball hits the ground, everyone's live out there. But the young man picked the ball back up again, got set and got it off, and got hit, and the penalty was called.
Are you saying, Phil, that once the ball hits the ground,
once the ball hits the ground, everything is live, right?
Then why was there a flag?
The young man picked the ball back up, got set, and then kicked it off.
I see.
He wasn't scrambling or anything.
All right, so a big penalty against East Brunswick, their first of the night, with 5:33 to go in the first period. And Edison has their best field position, ball resting at the East Brunswick 45. Boslett inside to Fotheringham. Pickup of about 2.
It's tough yards down there.
Well, Edison, you talked about Edison being physical. I think they want to be physical with East Brunswick. And on the other hand, they're worrying about being out-finessed by East Brunswick. So we may see a finesse game on one hand and a physical game on the other side.
2nd and 8 for the Eagles. The East Brunswick 43. Boslett pitch to, my God, he's wide open. Scapicchio,
He's in.
He's going to go all the way.
Well, somebody was caught there.
I couldn't believe there was no one on that side.
Well, Maloney was out there. Number 45 actually looked like he might have held him a little bit. I see Maloney was pointing his finger, but the officials didn't see it that way. And we have a nice touchdown run by
Scapicchio.
Scapicchio, 43 yards on the score.
So the crowd a little stunned here.
Alden now for the extra point. 4:39 in the first period. The kick is up, and it's good. And so Edison jumps on top, 7-0.
And this is the first time that the Bears have been behind since the Cherokee game. So they're going to have to play a little catch-up. It seemed like
I was stunned. I couldn't.
Yeah, it seemed like the linebacker on the right side here was sort of drawn in. Could have been, you know, some fake on the other side.
What they did, they sealed that side completely off. The only person that was really left after Scapicchio broke through was Maloney deep down there. And he blocked, he had number 45 blocking him. And once he fell, the young man sort of laid on him. And that was it, all she wrote.
Okay.
I tended to agree with you too, Phil. I thought Maloney was almost tackled out there on that block.
He was held slightly.
Anyway, it is 7-0 the Eagles, and they will kick off to East Brunswick. It was almost like slow motion. No one was moving. Except Scicchio.
He was moving.
So that penalty was rather costly.
Grady Waddell will kick it off now for Edison. And a low kick. I think we're going to have an offsides, though, against Edison.
So was he the same kicker that Edison used last time? I guess not.
No.
They used Wade Alden. So Waddell now does the kicking.
Yeah, they have problems in their kicking game, as evident by both kicks, and this penalty doesn't help their cause.
So the Bears are going to have to utilize some of that instant offense that they do possess back there. Of course, Mark Harmon can break one at any time. And Brian Forte, with his arm, can find his receivers. And I suspect maybe East Brunswick will want to get back on the board real quick here rather than doing a methodical drive.
And let's not forget, East Brunswick had an opportunity on the Edison 19-yard line just a few minutes ago. And
Yes, they did.
Came away empty.
And those things tend to haunt you.
I see visions of Madison Central from last year. This is Harmon at his 21. Right up the middle, Mark Harmon!
He's got a wedge.
He's gone!
No.
Oh, one man!
Number 30. That was
Harmon brings it back to the Edison 34-yard line.
right.
And Joe Alves on the tackle there. If he didn't make that tackle, Mark Harmon was off to the races.
I thought he was gone.
He looked like he was.
Alves sort of disguised himself back there.
All right, the Bears 1st and 10. They trail 7-0 with 4:22 to go in the first period. High formation for the Bears. Double wide out left. No flag, Harmon. Harmon will pick up maybe 3.
East Brunswick appeared to have illegal motion there, but the officials did not call it. And fortunately, they pick up 3 yards.
Second and about 7, the ball at the Edison 32. East Brunswick sends Trent and Maloney wide left. Harmon and DeVito are in the backfield with Forte. Forte's going to put it up in the air. Looking over for Potter. Dave Potter is tight end. Potter down around the 12-yard line, first down.
Well, John, you got to be happy. You've been hollering for Dave Potter for 2 weeks now, and they hit him on a nice pass. Good use of the tight end.
I noticed last week, Phil, in Madison Central, Potter was virtually alone every time he went out for the ball.
And he's an awful big target.
I was going to say, he's big out there.
Same formation for the Bears. 2 wide left. Harmon trying to turn the right corner and steps out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. They'll spot it at the 10. Second and about 6 for the Bears.
I tell you, Cameron's really firing off that ball. He almost looks like he's offsides. He's getting off so quick, but he's really firing out tonight. I like to see that.
3:17 to go, first period. Edison 7, East Brunswick nothing. Harmon, big hole. Harmon into the end zone, touchdown.
Boy, he had the hole on that side.
I'll tell you, give that touchdown to Gene Cameron. A great block there. A great block for Mark Harmon, and Harmon just had to step through the hole. Beautiful execution.
So the Bears strike back quick.
There's a player down for Edison, number 45. That's Greg Specht.
And that was the kind of drive you like to see in a situation like that. I think everybody was
Exactly.
stunned after that touchdown by Edison. And the Bears move right back. Was not a long drive off of that long kickoff run by Mark Harmon.
But I tell you, Harry Morris has to feel good. Gene Cameron did some awful nice blocking there. I mean, he just sealed that side up right there, and Mark Harmon skidded right on through.
Right, Sulfoconic also. I think we have to mention him. He was on that left side.
Nice combination of run and pass on that drive.
Exactly. The balance that we've been talking about all year, and they have the horses to do it. They have the DeVito, Harmon, any number of people that can run, and we already know Brian Forte can pass. So I think if they mix it up and create that perfect balance, they'll keep teams off balance.
Well, it's good to see that Specht is up.
That's going to be the key, Phil. I really have to agree with you on that. If East Brunswick's passing game is going to open up, they're going to have to get that running game down.
Exactly.
East Brunswick will now have Josh Miller on for the extra point to tie this game up. Witt is the holder. And this has been a sore point for the Bears. Kick is down and up. And it's good, and East Brunswick ties Edison with 3:11 to go here in the first period.
Well, you got to be impressed. I mean, Edison came right out, took the ball right down the field, and East Brunswick came right back at him with an awful nice drive of their own. So you got to be impressed with the team.
This may be the way it's going to be all night.
I hope not.
It's an exciting ball if it's like that.
I'd like to see the defense settle down. I really would. I would like to see them be able to stop that running game. We saw 300 yards of total offense last week from Madison Central. And I think if the Bears in the long run are going to be a serious threat to get a playoff berth, they're going to have to rise to the occasion on defense.
Well, Jimmy, they haven't changed from last week. And the thing about it, they're the same players out there. I think they're doing an awful lot with what they have. They're, as I said before, they're not terribly big, not a whole lot of experience, and they're going to be scrappy. They have to be scrappy and fight all the way in order to be in the games. They're not going to blow anybody out. It's simple as that. So they got to rely on their talent, their skilled positions to take advantage when they are clicking.
By the way, that was a running touchdown, of course, but Forte leads the county with 6 touchdown passes this season. And I think that's far and away the leading total.
More importantly, he's only thrown 1 interception.
That's right.
All right, Josh Miller will kick it off for East Brunswick. And we've had a lot of action, and we're still in the first period. Miller with a good kick. This is Alves at about the 7-yard line. He's going straight up the middle. Ooh. Hit hard and dropped. Number 17 for East Brunswick, that was Mark Rulo putting the hit on him.
Mark Rulo with a good solid hit.
One of the Jesse James games. All right, it's early in the game, but I'll tell you what, I think this is an important defensive stand right here for the Bears. I think after that last touchdown, they really have to show that they can shut down Edison's offense.
Edison 1st and 10 on their own 27. A little confusion, it seems like. And Boslett has to call a timeout, and that's their first.
Well, gentlemen, we have a quick moment here. I'd like to mention that the East Brunswick girls soccer team lost last week, we all know, to Westfield 2-1, and I guess it had to happen sooner or later. Interestingly, Westfield was the team that had lost to East Brunswick in the state Group 4 final, and according to Lou Cosa, the coach, East Brunswick outshot Westfield something like 26-4. It was really just they hit the crossbar 4 times. It was just a bad situation, but they did bounce back this past week by shutting out this Edison club, not the Edison football team, but the Edison High School, 7-0, and that brings their record now to 6-1. Lisa Gagno, I believe, has 19 goals on the season, and we're going to be seeing the Lady Bears in action Monday night against Bridgewater East, and that should be a good one because the Bridgewater East from Somerset County team is one of the better clubs in Central Jersey, and I think if the fans are interested in seeing a good, close game, this might be the one.
You're right, Jim, and we'll be there Monday night at East Brunswick to cover that game. Anyway, time is back in, and Edison 1st and 10 now. Ball on their 27, 2:47 to go first period. Scapicchio picks up about 2. Let's call it 2nd and 8.
Matt Miller in on the tackle there.
You know, the reason why Bruning has been playing defense and not going on offense, I understand, is he still has that sore Achilles tendon.
Full house backfield for Edison. A little option here, pitch back. That's to Waddell, and a flag is thrown.
Late hit.
If it was, the official that threw it was really blocked out by everybody. I can't believe that he would call a late hit on that.
We'll see what the official call is. Personal foul.
Okay.
Clip against Edison, so that'll move them back.
I kind of thought so, Phil. He was really out of position to see any piling on that and would probably leave that to the far side official.
Good pickup, Jim.
But even so, though, that play was almost over when Edison did that clip.
You're
it was
right.
really a untimely penalty.
Officials discussing the options with the East Brunswick captain. That's Matt Miller. And they'll move him back inside the 20.
Something else we noticed about East Brunswick was the penalty situation. They had 26 penalties coming into this game as opposed to the opposition, which only had 12.
Ooh.
So that's quite a margin. I know the Bears really want to cut down on their penalties.
The ball is spotted on the Edison 17, 2nd and 23 now for the Eagles. 2:02 to go here in the first period. Boslett's going to throw, drops back, looks to the outside for number 30, that's Alves. And the ball's just overthrown, bring up a 3rd and 23.
Interesting that Shannon Holcomb, number 88, was sort of following Alves.
Mike Hack putting good pressure on Boslett.
Mike Hack's another one of those players you don't hear too much, but I'll tell you what, he's in there.
He's doing the job.
All right, let's see what Edison calls on this, 3rd and 23. Boslett drops straight back, looks downfield.
Ooh.
And great defensive play by Maloney.
He was there.
He was looking for Rubik, I believe, number 88.
Nice job by Kevin. Never did let that receiver get behind him.
So East Brunswick should get the ball back with good field position. We'll see if they go for the punter. Maloney and Harmon back deep. Waddell with the kick. Maloney, Brunig rather, that is, drops the ball and falls on top of it.
I'll tell you, John, you talk about going for the punter. They went to block that ball, but they came very, very close to roughing the punter. And,
Unfortunately, the East Brunswick player was blocked into the kicker.
So
you're right, they're coming in.
The Bears will have it, 1st and 10 on the Edison 47.
Look for him to go for something big right off the top here.
Harmon looking. Low pressure face mask, I believe. Are they going to call it?
Yes, they are. There it is. Official just had a little bit of a problem getting the flag out of his pocket, but there was no doubt about that one.
You know, we really got to know Marcus Borden by now. He was going for the bomb, too.
And you see Brian a little shaken up on that.
Well, his head was snapped back. And they'll mark it off from the spot of the infraction.
Phil, you called it on that one.
Well, Marcus, you know, we've watched him enough now to know that there's certain times he's just going to go for it all. And that seemed like one of the predictable times.
It's almost as if it's not a surprise.
1st and 4 with the penalty. East Brunswick kept it down, and now only has to go 4 yards to achieve another 1st down, and they'll ask Harmon to do that, and Harmon's spinning his way through for the 1st down and more.
Oh, good running by Mark Harmon.
Really.
Boy, we can see Harmon maturing with each game, Phil.
He really is. He's doing that spin. He's fighting for yardage. He's just gotten so much stronger.
Well, I'm glad that they're using Mark. He had a 6.3 per carry average coming into the game, and he's ahead of that pace tonight.
1st and 10 at the Edison 34. 52 seconds to go, first period. We're tied 7-7. Trent all by himself on the right side, drops the ball right in his hands.
It's one of those yayas.
Yes.
Just took a step before he had it.
You know, they've worked so much in developing him catching the bomb that sometimes those short ones, your concentration isn't there as much as it should be.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Looking to take the lead here. Trent and Maloney wide right. Back to the I formation. Harmon.
Nice haul.
Good hole again. Harmon will pick up about 8 yards.
I'll tell you, we've been hard on that East Brunswick offensive line all year. We got to give them some credit. They are really blowing Edison off the line right now.
Surprisingly so, because Edison does outweigh them.
Ball now at the Edison 27. 3rd and 2. Down to about 10 seconds before the end of this quarter. Harmon again, he'll try to get out the left side, short of the first down. And that should be it for the first quarter here at East Brunswick High School, with the score tied 7-7.
I believe the Bears are probably going to go for that. Well, let's see, 2 yards. It's be another one of those tough calls to make.
Well, it's nice to have an option of either going with Josh Miller or going for the first down.
That's for sure. Percentage-wise, it's just hard to figure out things. Again, they've had trouble. They just switched to a new holder, and they've had so much problem with picking up a field goal. So it's hard to say. Marcus Borden more than likely is going to go for it. He's out on the field. If he were going to have Josh Miller kick it, he wouldn't be out on the field.
That's correct. Well, more fall season action. The boys soccer team now have a 5-3 record. They lost their most recent game, a tough overtime defeat, 4-2 to St. Joseph. And they were really going pretty well because they had lost their opening 2 games and then had come back to win their next 5. But I'd like to see the Bears in the GMC championships, gentlemen. I think they're going to be prepped up to do a good job. They seem to be coming around.
Okay, we're ready to start the second period of action. East Brunswick will have the ball on the Edison 26, 4th and 2. And East Brunswick's going to go for it. Trent and Giroux now wide right. Potter split out left. DeVito. Joey DeVito, he's through. DeVito scores!
Ho, ho, ho.
Joey DeVito
Ho, ho.
goes 26 yards for the score, and East Brunswick's on top, 13-7.
Too much you can say about that one.
Just
Caught everybody by surprise.
Pure second and third effort. He was held up somewhat initially at the line, broke through, turned on the speed that we know Joey DeVito has, and it's just good to see him running like that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was stopped, and all of a sudden
He was momentarily,
he spurts out.
And that's that East Brunswick offense.
Miller for the 14th point. And it's good.
Authoritatively, too. That went through by a wide margin.
And then give Marcus Borden some credit. We usually criticize about, at least I do anyway, about kicking field goals. He decided to go for it, and it ended up in an instant touchdown. A good call, obviously.
Yeah, the offense was spread wide, and it appeared that Edison was prepping for perhaps either a wide end run by Harmon or maybe one of those passes out to Trent. And it's a quick give off the left guard. And now we're starting to see some of that offense that we knew that East Brunswick had.
Well,
consistent offense.
Well, we talked about them being out of sync the first few games. They look like they are in sync right now, and it's pretty football when you're playing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bears have scored on their last 2 possessions. So 11:53 left in the second period, and the Bears go out on top, 14-7.
I have a little thing here. I always like to watch to see if Josh Miller gets it close to the end zone, because the Bears have one of the real valuable assets has been their ability to get good field position or put the opponents deep in their own territory.
All right, Josh Miller will send it down into the Edison end of the field. Down to about the 2-yard line. I think that was Rick Madama.
Greg Rouleau on the tackle, number 40. Just a sophomore.
So Edison will have it on their own 25. They've only been in East Brunswick territory once this evening, and they made the most of that opportunity, scoring. Boslett Delayed draw. Scapicchio. Pickup of about 3.
Edison usually runs out of the I offense, and they'll do multiple sets and stuff, but they'll also go. They may go into a wishbone after watching Madison Central.
Wishbone.
The coach informed me that they practiced it all last week, so you may see a little bit of wishbone.
2nd and 7. The ball on their own 28. Split backfield now. Alves in motion. Boslett rolls to his left. And he's got his man, his tight end. That's Rubik.
I was going to ask you, Phil. We haven't seen too much of Boslett to Rubik tonight, but that was one of the first opportunities.
And that's the distance they usually throw, about 8 yards, 8 to 10 yards. They really don't send them too long, and they just usually pick at you going there. He's a big, awful big target.
Well, he only picked up about 3 yards on that pass play. It's 3rd and 4. Ball now on the Edison 32. And Edison finds themselves again in a 3rd down situation. Boslett looking for Alves and a poor throw. I think he was somewhat blocked.
It just was not a good throw. I don't know if he was blocked, John, because he's about 6'5", but
his vision, I meant.
Yeah, but he just did not get off a good pass at all.
So they'll punt once again, and East Brunswick will have one more opportunity. 10:13 to go here in the 2nd period. Waddell doing the punting. Gets off a better kick this time. Brunig fakes the reverse to Harmon and is tackled immediately at about the 34.
I'll tell you what, East Brunswick got away with another roughing the kicker play on that one. It looks like DeVito was storming in.
I'll tell you, this kid, Joe Alves for Edison, another nice tackle. Every time there seems to be a big play, he seems to be right there, number 30. Joe Alves, 6 feet, 190.
East Brunswick, 1st and 10. The ball just shy of their 35-yard line. They lead 14-7. I formation. That's Harmon. Harmon will pick up close to 3 yards.
Oh, I'm watching the East Brunswick offensive line.
Yep.
They're really clicking into gear now.
Well, they had a good week of practice. I talked to a few of the players. They had a very good week of practice, and it's showing here.
Straight up the middle by Mark.
2nd and 7. Ball at the Edison 39. I'm sorry, East Brunswick 39. This is DeVito, who just scored a few minutes ago. Pick up about 3.
Edison has Scott Rubik, 6'4", 225 pounds. He's their tight end, but they have him on the playing in the interior line there, and he's making some tackles. He's a big guy.
Third and about 3 for the Bears. On their own 42. Forte, quick drop. He's got Trent. Trent's got the 1st down. Close to the Edison 40-yard line.
16-yard pickup on that play.
A nice catch by Ramon and a nice move to pick up additional yardage. He's got to scare you when he gets the ball because he has such great speed.
All right, they mark his progress at the 44 of Edison. 1st and 10, and East Brunswick on the move again. Trent and Maloney come wide left. This is DeVito. DeVito will pick up 3.
Again, good blocking on the right side of that line for East Brunswick. It's Rob Perez in there.
I'm waiting for Marcus to sneak Trent Long down the sideline.
Well, he's got Giroux and Trent in there, both split out wide, so maybe something's happening here.
DeVito, once again, DeVito has the hole. He's in the open. Joe DeVito down to the 20.
I'll tell you, just good running by Joe DeVito. Marcus Borden had Giroux split out wide to one side, Trent split out wide to the other side to spread the defense some, and East Brunswick took advantage of it by going up the middle there. Good running by Joey.
1st and 10, the ball at the Edison 20. East Brunswick's knocking once again. Harmon. And Harmon fights his way for 2 yards.
That was Dave Clark leading the way on that side.
And again, you got to like the balance that East Brunswick's showing.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a timeout, an official's timeout. One of the Edison players bent over there.
Is that the Piscataway transfer
That's
you were
the
talking about?
Piscataway transfer, right.
Okay.
Dan Harinsowicz.
Harinsowicz.
6'3", 215 pounds, and right now he's hurting. We hope the young man's okay.
And they're taking him out. He's walking out. But that's going to hurt them on that defensive line.
He's the big man in the middle there. You're right.
Oh, we take a look down at the crowd. The same nice crowd that you get for a night game here at East Brunswick's J. Doyle Field.
And the clock is running. We're down to 7 minutes before half. East Brunswick on top 14-7. But they have the ball at the Edison 17, 2nd and 7. Forte, he's got time, looking, now being pressured, throws it over the middle. Is it caught? No, incomplete.
Potter had it for a moment there and then let it slip out of his hands.
Dave Potter was hit from behind just as the ball arrived.
A nice effort by the young man, but Marcus, Jerry Youngchuck will speak to him. There are times young receivers often do it. They jump for the ball when you don't have to. And that's something you do on the playgrounds a lot. But Jerry Youngchuck will talk to him and tell him, when you don't have to jump for the ball, don't jump for it. Just catch it.
3rd and 7 now for the Bears. Maloney split wide left. Harmon in motion. And it's an option with Giroux on the carry. Giroux will be close to the first down, but I think he'll be shy. Let's see where they mark it.
By about a yard, John.
Well, that's
maybe a yard and a half.
That's the first time we've seen that this year.
Tough decision here. Field goal or go for it.
Back to where we were a moment ago. And we have a timeout, East Brunswick.
And we have Marcus Borden going on the field, so it tells you again what it's going to be.
What's it going to be?
Well, it's going to be something.
Gives
It's not going to be the field goal. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, some coaches, think going for a field goal is conceding that you can't score a touchdown.
Right.
But when you have a weapon like Josh Miller, what you want to do is just use that good mix there. You can't help but think of Ashantino at Bishop Ard with Whipka. They knew they were going to score a whole lot of points last year, and nevertheless they found a way to mix the kicking game in there.
Right.
But different styles for different coaches.
Right. Well, Miller is available, of course, but he's not on the field, so it looks like the Bears will be going for that first down.
And all fairness to Marcus, they just have been having trouble with getting that ball down. Too many things have been happening, so it might be a good choice, as the first time was.
All right, it's 4th and 2 when this timeout ends. The Bears will have the ball on the Edison 12, 6:25 to go before a half. And they're leading 14-7. And Marcus comes back to the sideline, and we're ready to go. East Brunswick sends Trent wide right, Giroux in the slot right, Potter split left. Forte rolling, getting some pressure, has to scamper, puts it up in the end zone. He's got a man wide open, Giroux, and he just overthrows him. And a flag is down. A holding against East Brunswick is the call.
And that may be declined. I suspect it will be.
I know it will be.
Okay. You know, Brian didn't complete that pass, but I was really impressed by his ability to get out there. He was getting caught, Phil, earlier in the season, but he seems to, I don't know, he has a little juice in his leg now or what?
I think now he knows he has to run. Earlier in the season, he didn't expect to have to be in that situation. He never did all of last year, but now he knows he has to get out of the way, and he's been doing a good job at it.
So Edison declines the penalty, takes the ball on their own 12, 1st and 10. Boslett calling signals. Scapicchio, and we have an offsides against Edison.
Yeah, it seemed like that right guard jumped a little early, John.
This is surely a penalty Edison can't afford to have.
Well, it's going to put them inside their own 10-yard line, and if the Bears can, excuse the expression, bear down and stop them, they'll get the ball in good field position. There's still plenty of time left in the second quarter.
It'll be now 1st and 15. Edison starting from their own 7-yard line. Rubik in motion. Boslett looking to throw, being pressured. He's going to be dropped at about the 1-yard line.
That was close. That was close.
Mike Hack on the tackle.
63.
Mike Hack showing good speed.
Well, Borden told me something before the game. He says, you know, Boslett has the same size as Forte, perhaps as good an arm, although I even question that. But where Brian really excels and where Boslett has a deficiency is in running. I think we saw it right there.
The ball is at about the 1-foot line. 2nd and 20 for Edison. Boslett looking over the middle, and the ball is dropped, I believe.
It's caught.
Did he catch it?
Yeah.
That was Mike Bussieri. I thought the ball dropped out.
Yeah.
Good catch.
I'll tell you, Boslett showed something there. He threw its sidearm. Did not pick up the first down, but he did get some breathing room.
You're right, Phil. That gives him some room to maneuver. The ball spotted at about the 10-yard line, but it's 3rd and 11 for Edison. So they face another long 3rd down situation. Clock shows 4:53 to go before half. Boslett looking again, roll to his right. Nice catch by Rubik.
Short of the first, though.
Yeah. There's that 7 or 8 yarder that you're talking about, but that's not going to do too well here.
And that's all they do with him. He doesn't go much further.
Yeah, you know, Phil, it's one thing we hear it so much on pro games, that 3rd down and the receiver doesn't get to that 1st-yard marker.
Well, that play wasn't even designed to go to 1st-yard mark. I guess they thought he might catch it and bull his way past someone, but...
All right, Edison will punt. Ball on their own 15. Waddell standing inside his own 5. Gets the kick off. And East Brunswick will let it bounce. They'll have excellent field position at around the Edison 37. And so the Bears will take over with 3:56.
Well, that's plenty of time for Forte to engineer something here.
East Brunswick in the lead, 14-7. We're at J. Doyle Field. I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined by Phil Hill and Jim Allinder. East Brunswick and Edison. East Brunswick comes in 2-1. Edison 1-1 in the conference. And the clock is running. East Brunswick sends Trent and Giroux wide left. Hand the ball off to Harmon. Harmon will pick up a yard, maybe 2.
That's the 11th carry for Mark Harmon this half.
You almost sense that Marcus Borden went into this game with the notion that they were going to establish that running game, come hell or high water.
I think he knew he had to. They were pretty raggedy the first few games.
All right, Harmon dropping back, has some time, set, pumps, now it's hit from behind, the ball is loose.
His arm is going for it.
Let's see what they call.
Well, we don't see anything yet. Apparently, Edison gets the ball.
They still haven't made a determination here.
Well, the referee is standing over the ball facing towards the East Brunswick goal, so I think it's Edison's 1st down.
Yep.
And East Brunswick's defense on the field. I think you're right, Jim.
Well, Brian pumped and then tried to pull the trigger, but got hit before he could get it off.
Right, it was blindside hit, and I have to tell you, I had the glasses on it, and it was a good call by the official.
Okay.
So a big turnover for Edison. They get the ball at the East Brunswick 38-yard line. Rather their own 38, moving toward East Brunswick territory with 2:42 to go. Boslett, kind of a naked bootleg looking. He's got his man, first down.
That may be
That was Speck, number 45, on the reception.
That may be the most impressive thing Boslett has done today. He did a little play action, roll to the left, and threw to the left there, and hit his man right on the money.
And the clock moves. First down for Edison. 2:22 to go before half. They trail 14-7, but they're in East Brunswick territory. The ball spotted at the East Brunswick 49. Split backfield. Boslett again will throw. Looking, he's looking deep for Alves. And a good defensive play by Maloney.
Yeah, he was on it again.
A real nice defensive play by Maloney.
Boslett pressured on that one. He really didn't have a lot of time to get that off, and I think he probably would have had a more accurate pass if he didn't see a couple of linebackers coming in his face.
That stops the clock with 1:56. It'll be a 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Boslett hands off to Scapicchio, and he is dropped for about a 5-yard loss.
And that fooled no one. I'm really impressed by the East Brunswick defense tonight. I think they've really come around. As a matter of fact, the whole line play on both sides, offensively and defensively, has been quite different than what we saw the first couple of games.
I'll tell you, Anthony DiGiovanni and Matt Miller in on that tackle, a very good play.
3rd and 15 for the Eagles. Ball back in their own territory, their own 46. Boslett's going to go to the air. Being pressured right up the middle. He's able to get it off, and he throws it away, actually.
Barely. St. Ugar, linebacker coming in there.
And Sink will hit anybody.
Yes, he will,
No.
including the coach.
I heard, did you hear that story? They tell me Marcus Borden suited up this week.
Is that a fact?
Sometimes coaches will do things just to get their team steered up. Marcus Borden suited up, and the players were reluctant to hit him, all except Sink Ugar. They tell me he really laid one on him.
All right, Waddell. And a good kick this time, sending Brunig back inside the 20. Brunig reverses field.
Whoops.
Gets to the outside. There's a clip, though, I believe.
Yeah, we saw that one.
And Brunig crosses the 30, but that's going to come back.
Unfortunately, that clip occurred at about the 19-yard line, so with half the distance, East Brunswick is going to be inside their 10. And I wonder, Phil, do you think it's worth, going for a long one on this with the opportunity for an interception if Edison's expecting it?
I think they're probably going to run, and if they pick up some more space yardage and whatnot, then they may throw it up.
58 seconds to go before half,
But
as the officials mark off the penalty.
But Marcus likes the surprise, so anything is possible.
Anything goes.
Ball at the East Brunswick 9. Clock is running. Forte will hand it off to DeVito. And DeVito's got the first down.
That stops the clock. So the Bears do have a little more room now. I wonder if that changes things.
I think it does. I think it does. I think you'll see them trying to throw something out to the flat, maybe to try and isolate Harmon on someone to break one.
Maybe the time for that little screen pass, Phil.
The one we haven't seen.
35 seconds, clock moving now. 1st and 10, the ball at the East Brunswick 22. DeVito once again. DeVito will pick up 5. And a flag is thrown.
Which stops the clock.
Apparently someone, I believe from East Brunswick, had a comment for the official.
Oh, yes.
He probably said, this young man's holding me, sir. And
I'm sure that was it. I read his lips, Phil. So that will really about kill any hopes East Brunswick has with 19 seconds. I believe the penalty was on number 59 for East Brunswick, Gene Kammerer.
That was Kammerer. Okay.
And they'll mark off 5. Oh, I'm sorry, it'll mark off from where the flag was.
It's half the distance, John,
Yeah.
from that point.
So the ball is at the 11-yard line now of East Brunswick.
Still a first down, but about 20 yards to go. And for all intents and purposes, that's probably it for the half. Okay, Edison's calls timeout now. I wonder why. There's 3 downs to go, 19 seconds. They're really not going to have an opportunity to get the ball back. I guess they're hoping that the Bears are simply just going to miscue on the snap, which we've seen before. Yes, we do remember people scoring with a few seconds left in the half. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, that's all that needs to be said about that.
Well, one more second here. Oh, you had a question?
I kind of have some mixed feelings about this game. Great defensive exhibition by East Brunswick. Good running on offense. The passing doesn't seem to be there tonight.
Well, it's not there, but John, I think we all agree that Edison is a quality club. Okay, they are 1-1. They were shut out last week against Middletown North, who is the defending Central Jersey Group 4 champion. So they're not a slouch team. I think Edison is a quality club.
Well, they're only down by a touchdown. They trail 14-7. 19 seconds to go here before half. 1st and 21 for the Bears. They'll get Harmon the ball and try to get him to the outside. Harmon will pick up about 8.
And East Brunswick
and now East Brunswick calls timeout.
I honestly can't figure this out.
Well, he could be going out there to say, fellas, the oranges won't be in the left side of the locker room this time. It's over in the right corner when you go in. Something like that. I don't know.
You think Forte saying, I'll take the offensive line out for dinner if he can block, keep him away from me one more time?
Marcus may be throwing it up. He may be throwing it up. Whatever he's doing, he's talking about execution right now. And he had another timeout to give, and Marcus uses every opportunity he has to talk to his team.
Well, Edison's putting about 30 guys in the defensive backfield, it seems, but they've got 6 men playing very deep. 1 man near midfield already. 12 seconds. 2nd and 15, and Harmon on a delayed draw. And that should about do it. And East Brunswick will call timeout again.
Well, the fans are getting their money's worth tonight. And Borden will again come out on the field.
I'll tell you, he likes that field. He really likes that field now.
That's called fill time. Oh, gosh.
Marcus Borden is he's just a cautious coach. I listened to him on the radio the other night, and I usually thought whenever I talk to him, he's just being cautious, but he's like that with everyone. He just one game at a time, and will not give you any indication of anything that he might do ahead of time.
All right, 3rd and 15 for the Bears with 3 seconds. Ball on their own 17. And it'll be Harmon again. Whoa, is he hit hard.
Ooh.
And that will end the first half here at East Brunswick. The Bears on top, 14-7. And the teams will head for the locker room, get some halftime instruction, and strap up those chin straps one more time. Phil, your thoughts thus far?
Well, East Brunswick, you sort of complained a little bit about them not passing as much. Remember, we were complaining because they weren't running as much. They seem to have more balance than they've shown in the first few games, and they look pretty good right now. The fact of the matter, though, is that Edison is only down 7 points. And if they can break another big one, they'll be right back in the game.
Yeah, I think that's what's concerning me. East Brunswick's had several opportunities. They had the ball down the 19-yard line in the first quarter. In the second quarter, they've had 2 opportunities within the 30-yard line of Edison and came away empty. Some great running, but you need to take advantage of those opportunities.
Well, Edison, as Jimmy pointed out, is a pretty tough defensive team. I mean, they lost last week 14-0, but that was against last year's state champions.
Yeah.
Edison looks to be pretty tough. I think East Brunswick's playing well.
I would like to see what adjustments Borden makes, if any. He is getting a good running game from Harmon. DeVito, I don't even have his stats, but he has a couple of 20-yard runs and 13-yard runs, so he's doing very well. I think East Brunswick probably has close to 150 yards on the ground this first half, and I think they need to put together a couple of more drives. I think they've shown the ability to do it. They've settled down. They have to avoid those penalties, and I don't know. I kind of feel comfortable right about now about their chances.
Well, it's a close game, and it's a good game here at East Brunswick. The Bears on top 14-7 at half, and we'll be back with the third period action in just a moment. All right, we're getting ready here for the start of the third period. And Jim, I know you have the halftime stats.
That I do, John, and as we had thought, East Brunswick does have this statistical edge over Edison. 9 first downs for the Bears as opposed to Edison's 4, and they rushed the ball for 128 yards, and I think that was on 22 carries. And as far as passing is concerned, Forte did not have that good of a passing percentage, completion percentage, 3 for 8. I'll get it out. But he did have some timely passes there, and individually, Harmon carried the ball 15 times for 60 yards, and Joe DeVito carried the ball only 5 times but had 66 yards, including a 26-yarder. Giroux on that end around had 6 yards, and Forte was sacked. This is interesting, Phil. Forte was only sacked 1 time, and we noticed that was a problem in the previous games where he was constantly getting harassed. So that's a good sign for East Brunswick right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, thanks, Jim. And if you've come late to the telecast, East Brunswick's on top 14-7. And the scoring was as follows. East Brunswick trailed at the start of the game with Scapicchio from Edison rambling 43 yards to open up the scoring in the game. The extra point was good, and Edison was on top 7-0. East Brunswick came right back with a nice drive combining the pass and the run, and Mark Harmon on a 10-yard scamper tied the game up, and it was 7-all at the end of 1. In the second period, Joey DeVito with a short 4th and 2 busted up the middle for 26 yards and the score to put East Brunswick out in front 14-7, and that's where we stand now as we start the third period.
And East Brunswick, having received on the opening kickoff, will likely be kicking off to Edison. And it appears that the Bears will be going from our right to the left.
And we'll look to see if any changes were made by either Edison or East Brunswick in their offensive or defensive philosophies.
Tell you, Boslett hasn't been that impressive this first half, but then I guess if you're first time seeing Brian Forte, you might say the same thing, and yet we know he can do it. So maybe the second half we're going to see some real fireworks.
Maybe not. Let's hope not. No, I think the East Brunswick defense has really done a nice job containing Boslett. The defensive backs have really been playing very, very well. I don't think I have Boslett's passing statistics. Maybe you do. Let me look at. Okay, he was 5 for 10, so he can have a 50% passing completing percentage, but nothing really damaging to speak of.
Well, nothing impressive. Even in the, I've been watching him in the just normal things he does, and I haven't seen anything that really catches your eye, you know. So we'll see.
All right, East Brunswick will kick off to start this second half. They'll be moving right to left on the screen. Edison awaiting the ball. See if they can tie this game up. And here's Miller's kick. Another fine kick. That's going to be Alves at about the 2-yard line, coming right up the middle. He's got some running room. A flag is thrown as he crosses the 30-yard line.
I think somebody might have nailed Greg Rulo coming in, and that's what it is.
I think you're right, Jim. It's a clip against Edison. And
Two players have been particularly outstanding for East Brunswick on the kickoff team. Greg Rulo and Joe DeVito, of all people. They really penetrate.
And DeVito is down.
DeVito on the kickoff teams is he runs with what you call reckless abandon. He just gives up the body and he's going nonstop. And this is a few times we've seen him come off the field after kickoffs. That's because he's so reckless.
Joey's walking off with the assistance of Phil Hostler.
Well, he's been bothered by that ankle all season long. It's a carryover from last year. And my understanding is that his body is just so much bigger than his ankles, to put it simply.
All right, Edison will take over. They'll start this third period off with the ball 1st and 10 on their own 10. A quick pitch to Scapicchio, and another flag is thrown as Scapicchio picks up maybe a yard. And it was thrown towards the interior line.
So Edison is plagued with penalties, something that we've seen happen to East Brunswick.
Well, they had 45 yards worth of important penalties the first half, and here they come out and penalize themselves again. It's not a good sign.
And the officials will mark it off. That'll bring them down to their 5-yard line, well, 6-yard line officially.
Very difficult for your quarterback to work out of a situation like this. He's constantly back deep in his own territory.
It'll be 1st and 15 for the Eagles. Ball on their own 6. Edison has 2 men split wide right. Boslett threw from this position in the first half, and he's going to do it again. Little toss out to Alves. Alves crosses the 10 up to the 11.
I'll tell you, they really don't seem to have too many imaginative pass patterns.
Right.
Everything we've seen has been to that little sideline pass there, and every now and then Rubik across the middle, but nothing else really.
Alves gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 now. Ball at the Edison 11. We've just started third period action. East Brunswick on top, 14-7. Boslett will throw, sets up. Looking over the middle, he's got his man. That's number 90. That's Busiri, Mike Busiri. And Busiri should have enough for the first.
So the Eagles get themselves out of
That's
situation.
That's a fine pass by Boslett.
Yep, he had time.
Bill Brunig making a hard tackle.
And we have an official timeout as we have an equipment problem with one of the Edison players. And we're ready to go. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. The ball on their own 23. They split 2 men wide left now. I formation. Waddell in motion. This is a handoff to Scapicchio. Scapicchio pick up 3. Bring up another 3rd and long for Edison. Sorry, 2nd. Forgot about the penalty. Rather the first down, not the penalty. Let's call it 2nd and about 7. Ball on the Edison 26. Same formation for Edison. 2 men split wide left. Boslett looking long. He's got his man.
Oh, mercy.
Boussier.
Mercy.
Boussier's going to be wrestled down at about the 25.
Well, thankfully, Shannon Holcomb was able to catch Broussier. That was a great catch.
Great throw, too. Mike Boslett laid it up there very nicely.
All right. And it's apparent that Edison is coming out in the second half throwing.
And you're right, Jimmy. If Holcomb didn't catch him, he's gone.
That could be a saving tackle right there because, well, it was a saving tackle, but Edison still does have about 22 yards to go to get into the end zone.
Big first down for Edison. As they look to tie this ball game up.
I think we're going to have a shootout the second half. I think both teams are going to open it up.
All right, Edison, 1st and 10 on the East Brunswick 23. Scapicchio inside. He finds some room, picks up about 8 yards.
Good hard running by Scapicchio.
Second and about 2. Ball at about the East Brunswick 17. Boslett splits out his receivers. Looks like a miscommunication there, broken play, but Boslett will be close to the first down. He might have it.
You're right. You're right on 2 counts, John. I don't think that was a designed play. Boslett doesn't look like a real good runner. However, he did pick up the first down.
So Edison keeps the drive alive. Ball at the East Brunswick 13, and they'll have it 1st and 10. And more importantly, they can get a first down without scoring. Clock running, 8:26 to go here in the 3rd period. Fotheringham.
Oh, we haven't seen his number called too many times.
That's only
tonight.
his 2nd carry, I believe, tonight.
Sean Smith in on the tackle there.
He's still got about 3.5 yards.
Yeah, close to 4. Let's call it 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Eagles. Ball just inside the 10 at the 8-yard line of East Brunswick. East Brunswick holding on to a very tenuous 14-7 lead. This drive started at the 6-yard line for Edison. Boslett looking to throw. He's got a man on the outside. That was Alves, but the pass was wide.
I wonder if that wasn't designed to, or rather he just threw it away, seeing that the pass receiver was covered. But
I got to believe you got to look for Rubik right here. He's got to be trying to hit that big tight end on a slant in or something.
And this is the range, about 6 to 8 yards.
Right.
Number 88 on the right side of the screen there.
3rd and 6 for the Eagles. Boslett has it. His man fell down in the end zone. They're going to call a penalty on East Brunswick.
But the touchdown counts.
And that will be a score for Edison. I think they're going to call Holcomb for pass interference.
Yes. Brian was faked and tried to hold the receiver.
That's the call, and the score is good. So Edison's a point away from tying this game once again. That was Boussier on the reception.
I'll tell you, nice balance by the young man. Fell down, got up, and made the catch.
Well, a little bit of confusion here. And now Edison has to call a timeout.
Edison,
John.
that's bad. Same thing that happened to him in the first half. They took a timeout early on in the first period, and here again.
I'll tell you this, John. Fourth quarter may be East Brunswick, but the third quarter certainly isn't. We saw them last week. Madison Central come out of the locker room, drive right down on the field on them. We saw the same thing happen in Cherokee. So in the third quarter, soon as they come out of the locker room, something seems to happen to them where they just don't show as much intensity, and that's a pattern they can't continue.
I think too, Phil, every game that we've watched in the third period, they have kicked off. So they haven't had the opportunity to kind of put the nail in the coffin. They've had to go on defense right away.
That's interesting.
And you allow a team back into the game.
So
all right,
what
Edison will have Wade Alden trying the extra point.
So he does the extra point kicking.
Alden trying to tie it up for the Eagles. 7:31 to go in the third period. Good snap. Kick is up. It's good, and we're tied at 14.
I didn't notice. Is DeVito up and around here? Yeah, he's back on the field. He'll be the middleman on this kick return. So apparently he's all right.
Well, we'll see if East Brunswick can come back and answer that score, much like they did in the second period against Edison.
All right, this is going to be a typical game for the Bears this year, apparently. Not really able to outscore, but 14-14. They're going to have the offense is going to have to come through.
Jim, I don't even know if it's a matter of outscoring. I wonder if it's more a matter of taking control.
Yeah.
Shutting down that opponent completely.
Well, look here. Okay, that penalty apparently is marked off on the kickoff.
You're right.
So the Eagles will be kicking off from their East Brunswick 45-yard line.
Fortunately, Edison doesn't have a good kicking game,
Right.
so they still may come out ahead of the game on this. Alden will kick it off. He started the game as the kickoff.
And he kicks from a 3-yard shot.
Onside kick.
Oh,
And no one for East Brunswick is going for it.
Oh, mercy.
The ball is still loose.
Just fall on it.
Still going. Who's got it?
Brunick.
Brunick's got it at about the 10-yard line.
I don't believe it.
Well, that was an exercise in not how to recover an onside kick.
I can't believe the whole right side of East Brunswick receiving team is backing up from the ball.
Right.
And you don't want to do that. You want to get to that ball as soon as possible and fall down on it.
All right. I'll have to say the Bears were caught by surprise on that one. It was a good situation for an onside because at best the Bears would have had the ball on their own 30-yard line. But, woo.
Well, they have it 1st and 10 on their own 12. And they're in a scrap here with Edison. Harmon. And Edison's playing with some intensity now. Harmon will pick up 2.
That's that Rubik on tackle there. Scott Rubik. 225. 6'4", 225.
Second and 7 for the Bears. The ball now on their own 15. Forte dropping straight back. He's got a man out here. That's Trent. First down for the Bears at the 25. Nice timing pattern.
A nice timing pattern. Ramon Trent was trying to get his balance. His feet slipped out from under him. Otherwise, he might have picked up some more yardage. Nice pass, nice catch.
We should also point out, too, that's one of the toughest patterns to throw for a quarterback, that deep out pattern.
You're right.
So the Bears with a first down. Ball at their own 25. 6:13 to go in the third period. We're tied at 14. Harmon jitterbugging his way for 7 yards.
Good hard running by Mark Harmon once again. We've gotten used to it by now, but it's always good to see.
Yeah, they gave him close to 9 yards on that carry, so we'll call it 2nd and 1. Ball close to the East Brunswick 35. Two men split wide right for East Brunswick. I formation. Pitch to Harmon, trying to get out to the left side. Harmon will have the first down. And the Bears trying to answer that Edison score.
And I saw a nice block there by a face we haven't seen before, Rosario Chetta, number 61, who's in there at right guard. He did a nice job clearing that side.
Trent wide right, Drew in the slot right. Forte dropping back, has some time, he's looking deep, he's got his man, Trent! Right on the money! Woo! Trent is tripped up inside the 10.
Well, that's a classic play right there.
That is vintage Brian Forte. What a pass. A beautiful pass and a beautiful reception by Ramon Trent. Have you seen anything nicer, John?
Phil, that ball was about 50 yards in the air.
What a pass.
53 yards to be exact on that play.
That's what I was talking about. We were kind of missing that first half. And East Brunswick with a big first down. They're inside the Edison 10. Ball spotted at the 8. So it's first and goal. Forte to Harmon. Harmon looking for some room. He'll pick up 2 yards.
He got more than that. That was a nice run right there. He really didn't have anything on the inside and made a little bit of a cut to the outside.
You just got to like the way Borden is called in the game today. They're doing a fair amount of running and setting up the pass with the run.
4:28 to go, third period. East Brunswick at the 6-yard line, the Edison 6, and we have a timeout.
Apparently Mark has a little bit of a problem with his helmet. Okay, we're ready to go.
Second and 6 for the score. Trent and Drew wide left. This will be Harmon. Harmon's got the outside. He's got the score for East Brunswick. And East Brunswick comes right back.
Authoritatively again. Really, that was just a nice drive. I'll tell you what, Phil, I'm still shaking my head over that pass.
You can't get that pass out of your head, you're right.
That was great. That's going to make the highlight film for East Brunswick. And I'll tell you what, if I was Marcus Borden, I would put that on film and send it to every college because it shows his arm. And by the way, a nice pass catch by Trent.
Harmon scores his second touchdown of the night. East Brunswick on top 20-14, looking to add that 21st point. High snap. Kick is up, though, and it's good. East Brunswick's lead is now 21-14 over Edison.
And the fireworks have begun.
Well, I'll tell you something else that's happened tonight. They've taken our word as far as the extra point. They've been kicking it, and it's so far worked out to their advantage.
Right.
Jimmy, back to the pass again. I doubt if you're going to see any high school players throw a pass as strong as Forte threw that. It was just a beautiful pass. And this is the type of touch strength Forte has. And he's a young man almost waiting to unleash it at any time.
Correct.
There he did it and was a sight to behold.
It really was a nice play. I have to tell you, I've been covering sports for a while, and you don't see an arm like that often.
As tight a spiral as you want to see.
It was almost like a rope.
And we should say something about Trent. Showed great poise, stopped a little bit for that ball, pulled it in. And we got to remember, too, this is his first year of football.
He's going to develop into a real good one, John. No doubt about that.
All right, Josh Miller, kick it off. The Bears back on top, 4:05 to go in the third period. We have a Texas shootout here. Kick bounds around. That'll be Alves for Edison. And Alves again crosses the 30-yard line.
So we will see if East Brunswick's defense now can rise to the occasion and stop Edison. Boslet, as we noted in the first drive, is coming out throwing.
Well, anytime you have an opponent that has a quarterback that can throw, that team is in the game. So Edison will have it 1st and 10 on their own 32. Clock is running now, 3:45 to go in the 3rd period. They split 2 men wide right. Boslett on a sprint draw. Scapicchio has some room. He's got the 1st down. That sprint draw has worked well for them, Phil.
It has. It has. This kid has excellent speed and good balance, Scapicchio.
Brings it up to the 45-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. And they start to mount their challenge. Scapicchio again. Pick up close to 4.
Well, Brunig was in on the tackle there. He was just able to grab a hold of the ankle. That could have been a long gainer.
Let's call it 2nd and 6 for the Eagles. Ball at the East Brunswick 49. Rather, Edison 49. Fotheringham with the carry. Picks up maybe a yard.
I'll tell you, strong effort by East Brunswick defense there.
Yeah, Matt Miller leading the way. You know, something I noted, gentlemen, that in looking at the starting offensive and defensive lineups, only Mark Harmon was the player for East Brunswick going both ways. And, of course, we noted that the 4th quarter belongs to East Brunswick. But we'll have to see, you know, because a number of Edison players are going both ways.
Well, against last week against Middletown North, Gary Ryder said that was the difference. They just wore them down in the 4th quarter. So East Brunswick doesn't seem to be, I'm sure, isn't as big as Middletown North, but they seem to have a little bit more in the 4th quarter than most teams. So we'll see what happens there.
Okay, the ball right on the midfield mark. Edison will have a 3rd and 5.
This should be a little play action right here. Yep.
You call it, Phil. Boslett, and he's unable to dump the ball off to Scapicchio. Good defense there by Mark Flynn, number 91.
So East Brunswick apparently able to check Mike Boslett this time. I'll tell you, he's dangerous every time he gets the ball.
All right, Waddell to do the punting. Brunig and Harmon will drop back for the Bears. Fumble of the punt. He just gets it off. Straight up. And everyone will let that one drop and bound around. And it comes to rest at the 40-yard line, and that's where East Brunswick will take over.
That has a net gain of 10 yards on that punt. It's unfortunate for the, you had mentioned, Reeder said that they do not have a kicking game. And that can haunt them.
And that can hurt you. That's why when you do have a kicking game, got to take advantage of it.
The Bears will have it 1st and 10. They're up 21-14, minute 35 to go in the 3rd period. Potter wide left, Trent wide right, Drew in the slot. Harmon will pick up 2 on the carry off the right side.
What are you laughing at, Phil?
I'll tell you a little bit later.
Okay.
Call a 2nd and 8. Ball at the East Brunswick 43. Inside a minute to go, 3rd period now. Harmon once again. And he'll spin his way for close to 5 yards.
Well, you know I have to bring South River in sooner or later, right?
Okay.
But now I was laughing because I went to the Holland Park South River game last night, and I was just noting the difference in the crowd. I mean, last night they were yelling at the official, and I mean, it's good. Good old-time ventilation time. It was fun. It was different.
It's a rather sedate crowd here.
It is here.
3rd and 3 for the Bears. And Harmon having some trouble again with his helmet.
And the fans can really add to the excitement of the game and also can spur on their own team.
And it wasn't just Souther. It was Highland Park fans as well. I mean, everybody was getting on everybody, challenging everybody. It was fun.
DeVito with the ball right up the middle again. Joe DeVito, first down into Edison territory.
He has that ability to turn on the burners as soon as he gets that little opening.
So they move the chains. The ball is spotted at the Edison 41. 7 seconds to go before the end of the 3rd period. And that should be it. And we'll move into the 4th and final period here at East Brunswick. The Bears on top, 21-14.
Well, they've made it to the 4th quarter in their head, Jimmy, so that's a good sign.
It is a good sign. And I do think they're going to get more. I think there's going to be more points scored, perhaps from both sides. But I think, boy, I'll tell you, Brian is really starting to look relaxed out there. He feels very confident.
You're right.
You know, he's passing well. He has some good backs to give the ball to. This has been a relatively, aside from the penalties, mistake-free game. Okay, you had that fumble by Edison on the first punt. And then, of course, East Brunswick avoided disaster on the onside kick attempt by Edison. I think we should note that, wow, that was a 90-yard drive that East Brunswick engineered to come back after having been tied 14-14. And if anything, the Bears do show the ability now to rebound, you know, when they're faced with a difficult situation. That, of course, will be very, very helpful further down the line.
Okay, Marcus Borden coming off the field. You know what he said to his team, John. It's 4th quarter. It's our time. Let's do it, fellas. And I think they really believe that. We'll see.
All right, the last 12 minutes of the game. The Bears have the ball on the Edison 41, 1st and 10. 2 men split wide right for East Brunswick. Pitch to Harmon, left side. Harmon's got the first down, I believe. See where he stepped out.
He had a host of blockers out there.
I'll tell you, Harmon picked up nice yards, but you got to wonder why he always runs that pitch to the short side. I mean, with his speed and his ability to deceive would-be tacklers, you'd think perhaps they'd run it to the wide side every now and then, but every time it's been to the short side.
Good point, Phil. It is a first down, though, for the Bears. The ball is now at the Edison 30. 1st and 10. Here's a little counter move with DeVito. DeVito will pick up 7. And DeVito ran over one of the Edison players. He ran over Grady Waddell, in fact, number 26.
Important drive here for the Bears. We're in the 4th quarter now. Only up by 7 points.
Ball on the East Brunswick 24, 2nd and about 4 for the 1st. This is Harmon again. He's got the first down and more. Close to the 15-yard line.
Well, I'm going to be running out of room here pretty soon. Let's see, he had 15 carries in the first half. I already have him down for 9 more, so 25 carries.
He's being the workhorse tonight.
Ball spotted at the Edison 17. 11:03 to go in the game. The Bears on top, 21-14, but they're threatening once again. They have a 1st and 10. Here's a quick handoff to DeVito inside, and he was lucky to get that ball.
Well, that's about the first time that Edison has been able to stop East Brunswick on the ground in quite a while. They've been nailing chunks of yardage in this drive.
I would look for Giroux in the corner.
Well, how about Mr. Potter, John?
I'd love to see it. Anyway, it's 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Ball on the Edison 17. Harmon to the short side. And Mark will pick up maybe 1.
Edison was expecting that.
As we pointed out at the beginning of the game, many of these Edison players play both ways, and this fourth quarter usually tells. Let's call it 3rd and a long 9. Forte still has it. Looking, he's gonna run it. And Brian will get back to the line of scrimmage.
And we'll have a field goal attempt here.
And they'll send Josh Miller out.
So let's mark this one here. We have a moment. Ball is at the
17.
17, so go back 7-24. That's a 34-yard attempt coming up. Well, let's see. Josh puts it down on the 25, so.
Got to give Edison defenders some credit for that last attempt. All the receivers were covered.
All right, Miller with a 35-yard attempt. Good snap. Kick is up. And it's good.
That is through.
So Josh Miller, field goal, puts East Brunswick on top, 24-14.
And some big points there.
Well, it's football the way it's supposed to be played. When you have a weapon, as I've been saying all year, like Josh Miller, you get in the bind.
And I don't know why the clock is running right now, but it can't continue. All right, about 10 seconds just went off the clock.
Well, it's a homer clock.
I was looking to find out what the time of it was, and all right, now we have it at 8:45. I wonder if that's going to be the official time. Nonetheless.
I don't know if anyone from Edison has picked that up yet, Jim.
Right. I don't think they have.
I think the officials had to pick it up, though.
Well, we're going to call it at 8:45.
But you're right, Jimmy. That clock was just ticking.
All right, the Bears open up a 10-point margin.
Big points, I think, at this time.
Well, it means that Edison has to go for 2 scores since they do not have a field goal kicker.
Ryder's on the field pleading his case, but they don't seem to be listening to him.
Now the officials are meeting.
I would say that at least 10 seconds had elapsed after that kick.
And it should be very simple. The official on the field is keeping the time. If it doesn't jibe with the clock, then he should be letting the guy run the clock know. And here he comes.
All right, they're going to tell him now. Official talking to Harry Morris, who has a headset on. I don't know if that's the guy you want to talk to over there. Harry may be talking to a neighbor of his on that headset.
I think I know what's going on. Harry, since he has communication with the press box, is probably telling them to put on so many seconds on the clock, and we'll find out how many.
I mean, I don't know why they have to do that, go through the headset and whatnot. All the official has to do is signal from the field, wind his arms, and let him know that he wants the time put back on it.
That's a former official talking right there, ladies and gentlemen. Having faced these situations before.
Well, he's as you pointed out, he's going to East Brunswick and tell them we want more time on the clock. That message may never get through. Marcus Borden questioning the official now.
You see the clock on your screen, 8:45. As Jimmy said, it should be closer to 8:55. We'll see how much time they actually put back on the clock. That's the discussion that's taken place. Unless they've decided to keep the time on the field, since the clock has not changed as of yet. And it looks like that's what's going to happen, because they seem to be ready to kick this ball off. Or they'll run off 10 seconds and then start the clock. I think that's what's going to happen.
You're right, John.
Okay, I just heard the PA announcer say 9 minutes, so apparently 15 seconds. So we will give Miller credit for that field goal at the 9-minute mark.
So Miller's kick sends Alves, and the ball goes out of bounds. Alves was running over near the 5-yard line. I thought he might pick that ball up.
If he watched the Madison Central tapes of last week, I'm sure he thought better.
I always love it when the official throws a flag up in the air. when the ball goes out of bounds,
and
as if to solidify the fact that it is a penalty.
And of course, the answer to the question last week is the receiving team has the option of taking the ball where it does go out of bounds.
Yeah, I think the comment I made, Phil, was I thought they had changed the rule that the ball would come out to the 35. Apparently, I was wrong.
With all the different rules in pro and college and everything now, it certainly can confuse you.
In all the different leagues.
Something I've just noticed on that drive that East Brunswick executed to get the field goal, not once did Forte complete a pass, and I don't even know if he threw. He may have thrown one time, but East Brunswick able to move the ball on the ground.
All right, Miller will kick off now from his own 35. And a fine kick is going to drive Alves back to the 7-yard line. He'll come right up the middle with it. And he'll be short of the 30.
And I counted 8 or 9 East Brunswick players in on that tackle. And again, Greg Rula, number 40, was down there with the deepest penetration.
So Edison, trying to make up a 10-point deficit, will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 29. And the clock is now running again. Down to 8:40 to go here in the game. Boslett, short drop, now rolls to his right. Feeling some pressure, he's got a man open in the middle and overthrows Busiri.
That was Sink Ugar in on putting the pressure on Boslett. Almost a late hit there.
Busiri was open though. So it'll be a 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Rubik in motion. Boslett drops back. Looking for Rubik down the sidelines. And a fine defensive play by Mark Harmon.
And there's your one-on-one situation that Borden had hoped to achieve.
Well, Mark Harmon is just a fine athlete now. Usually when you have a top flight receiver on the other team and yet you put your best defensive back on him, Mark Harmon covered him with such ease there.
Boslett could have thrown that a lot further, Phil.
He had the nose of the ball up in the air, and therefore it didn't get out as far as it should have.
3rd and 10 for the Eagles. They trail by, excuse me, by 10, 24-14. Ball at their own 29. Boslett feeling pressure. Tries to dump it over the middle to Scapicchio.
That was Brunig able to bat that ball down. Bears doing a nice job.
Great defensive stand by East Brunswick.
Right.
Looked almost though it was trying to set up a center screen.
Exactly.
And so Edison will be forced to punt with 8:10 to go in the game. Brunig and Harmon back for the Bears. Waddell gets off the kick. It's a fine kick, driving Brunig back to his own 30. Drops it, picks it back up.
Well, here come. Yeah,
We're
there's the
gonna
flag.
have a clip as Brunig goes out at the 40.
And John Flynn with his arms out as if, what did I do?
I'll tell you, the Edison punter is really hurting.
Yeah, well, he was, I'm looking both ways here. There was a East Brunswick player blocked into the kicker, and down here, we can't pick up his number, but Flynn did throw a behind the back block. You just got to hope the Edison player is not injured.
Also, too, about Waddell, his punting. I've noticed every time he's punted the ball, he's fallen down. So he's doing a little play acting out there, and I think he got caught this time in terms of someone falling on him.
Yeah. You know, Jimmy, it's a shame we couldn't get a list of some of the alumni that were here tonight. We look out in there and we do see a lot of old former East Brunswick players. And
well, I said hello to Andy Warenberg, of course, who played, I guess, about 2 years ago. the Bears. He's now at Northeastern University.
I understand the kid Allen, who used to play for them, played for the University of Connecticut. He's
Mike
here.
Allen.
Right, he's here tonight as well. But can't tell you about the others.
By the way, that injured player was Busiri rather, for Edison, and that could be a big blow to them on offense. Anyway, the Bears have it, and we're going to have a lineman offside for Edison jumping in that neutral zone.
Encroachment.
Speaking of alumni, they tell me Kenny Pruss is down at Vanderbilt, and he loves it very much.
That's good to hear.
He is redshirted this year, but they've moved him to strong safety because he's such a fine hitter. So he can't wait till next year. But he loves the school, they tell me.
I was watching their game today against Auburn, even though they were getting blown out.
Yeah.
They're a young team, and I think Kenny could help them out. All right. 7:58 to go in the game. East Brunswick with a 1st and 5 after the penalty. The ball on their own 21. They lead by 10. Here's Harmon. Harmon fighting his way close to the first down. We'll see where they mark it. He'll be just short, I believe.
I'll tell you, another fine effort by Mark Harmon. Those legs keep churning. And again, East Brunswick players just look so much stronger than Edison players at this time.
I wonder what the record is for the most carries in a game by an East Brunswick running back.
Well, let's see if we can find out. Our statistician is here, James.
That being me?
How would they give him
that
the
might
first
take
down?
me all night.
So it is a first down. Harmon with the ball again. Pick up maybe 2.
Well, we do have a media guide here provided by Bill Munyon, but I have to tell you. Okay. We have most carries in a game. Len Beleza, 33 versus Madison Central, 1981.
Well, Harmon has a long
way to go there.
33.
They gave Harmon 3 on that last carry, so it's 2nd and 7. The ball on the East Brunswick 30. This is DeVito again up the middle, finds the hole.
East Brunswick continuing to do it on the ground.
Well, they're just mixing it up so very well. Edison is totally off balance right now. They don't know what to expect from East Brunswick. They know there's going to be some running, but Harmon's running well, and then they hand it off to DeVito.
I'm going to need a pocket calculator after this one tonight.
More importantly, that clock is running. First down. I'm sorry, yeah, it is a first down. They gave it to him. So it's 1st and 10 now. The ball on East Brunswick 38. Giroux goes in motion. This is DeVito. And DeVito snakes his way for 3 yards.
That surprised me. He picked up that yardage after actually pausing at the line of scrimmage to let a tackler go by him.
2nd and 7 for the Bears. Ball just across the East Brunswick 40.
And you can see the value of a control game like this. Keeping the ball away from Edison. That's what Marcus Morden wanted to do.
East Brunswick now puts Trenton Giroux wide left. I formation. DeVito. Pick up another 2.
A little extracurricular activity there. Matt Miller wisely backs off.
And that's Waddell for Edison, number 26.
Matt Miller, I'll tell you what, we haven't seen him on offense too much this year.
Well, when you go to a ball control offense, there's a man you want carrying the ball, or at least leading the blocking. And Miller is in the backfield with DeVito. Harmon getting a rest. It's DeVito. Joey will pick up maybe a yard. And so to bring up a 4th down for the Bears. 4th and about 3.
And let's see, the clock is stopped.
Official timeout. Another equipment problem.
And the Bears ought to take their time on this punt.
If they punt.
That's always a good point.
They
John.
will punt. They will punt.
There's the conservative coach over here.
Okay, Forte is in punt formation. But if you look, that last line of protection includes Harmon and Brunig. And those 2 individuals are surely able to get out into the flat and catch a pass.
Well, there's no reason to risk giving up the ball right here, so
5:10 to go in the game. Clock is running. 4th and 3. High snap. Forte pulls it down. Gets off a fine kick. This is Bogdan at his own 12. Looking for some running room. He'll get across the 20.
There's a flag.
Yeah, there goes a flag. I'll tell you what. You see the value of being a fine athlete right there. If Forte wasn't as tall as he was, that ball would have been sailed over his head. He still has enough time to get off a kick. It goes about 45 yards in the air.
Appears to be
And there you have it. And now Edison is going to be hit with a blocking below the waist penalty. So all these things add up to a good situation for the Bears.
Edison trails by 10, 24-14. They'll get the ball with 4:51 to go in the game, but they're going to have the ball at their own 11.
Well, I see some of the fans are taking things into their own down there, trying to get the crowd revved up.
Well, the crowd is a little quiet, but you can't afford it because of the cheerleaders. I tell you one thing. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit later.
All right, Boslett directing his players around on the field. 1st and 10. He's under pressure, looking for Rubik. Throws it out of bounds. 2nd and 10.
Well, Edison forced to throw here. East Brunswick knows it's going to throw, and of course that makes it difficult for the Eagles right here. This is prime time for an interception, Phil.
You're right.
2nd and 10, ball on their own 10. Boslett being pressured, throws it up for Rubik.
Ooh!
Oh, a fine defensive play by Harmon once again.
I'll tell you, one more step, and Harmon has that interception you're talking about, James.
You know, Mark was kind of beat. Well, he was playing the inside, yet that ball was so softly thrown that Harmon, with his athletic ability, still was able to adjust and almost had his hands on the ball. Boy, Harmon is just starting to bloom now. You know, we knew as a sophomore he had that excellent, we saw those long runs, but boy, he's really coming into his own as a dependable ball carrier.
And defensive player.
All these names we're mentioning are juniors.
3rd and 10 for the Eagles. 4:17 to go in the game. 24-14 East Brunswick. Boslett under pressure is in his own end zone.
Mike Hack.
He gets it away. Looking for Waddell. I'm sorry, for Bogdan. Ball underthrown. And so Edison will be forced to punt it away.
I'll tell you, once again, Hack given excellent pressure.
And this is what we talk about controlling. This is what it is, shutting them down.
Right. So the Bears ought to get the ball in decent field position.
Brunig and Harmon are back. They should have the ball on the Edison side of the field. Waddell back in his end zone to punt.
Here comes DeVito.
Punts off the side of his foot and is going to go up to around the 35-yard line. That's where it'll be downed. So East Brunswick in fine position at the Edison 35.
Mr. Waddell has had a tough evening.
A very tough evening. He's been on the ground every time he's attempted to punt.
So we're down to 3:59. We'll see now if East Brunswick's content to run it out or if Forte will try one for the end zone.
Are you kidding?
Keep it on the ground.
You bet your you bet your bottom dollar they're going to go for something.
Okay.
We know Marcus well enough now to know that it's not just going to be a matter of grinding the clock down. No way.
All right, Forte moving his receivers over to the right side. 1st and 10 for the Bears. Harmon, short side sweep. That's Phil's play.
Interesting call.
well, I'm not going to ask. Perhaps, Jimmy, you can ask for me. How come it doesn't come to the wide side? It's
Right.
a nice play. But
Well, it was a little bit of a deception. Well, we got an Edison player down there. It looks like he's legs hurting. But it was interesting in that both Giroux and Trent came over to the right side trying to bring some Edison defenders with them. And yet the play goes to the short end.
I guess that's the whole object of it. But still, I think with the type of moves Mark Harmon has, with the type of speed, if he has that space there and you pitch that ball to him, I got to believe he's going to pick up some good yardage. Maybe I'm wrong.
Looks like a leg cramp on one of the Edison players.
Well, I now have Mark Harmon with 29 carries, so he's 4 shy of that record.
Wow.
So we may be seeing a record broken here. 3:33 to go in the game. The Bears up by 10.
Let me backtrack. Let's go back to 28 now. I thought I had him for 16 carries in the first half. I think he had 15. Am I right?
And he's coming out of the game now for a well-deserved rest. Fine all-around game by Mark Harmon.
And the clock continues to roll.
Ball on the Edison 34, 2nd and 9. That's DeVito. And DeVito finds his way for about 7 yards, just shy of the first down.
You know, Joe DeVito has carried the ball an awful lot tonight, too.
Well, they've done more running easily this game than they have done all the other games combined.
15 carries for Joe DeVito. And this is ball control offense. Got a timeout, John.
What's the most record for a running back tandem?
Running
most
back
carries.
tandem?
I don't think we have a stat on that.
Well, most carries per game team. Let's see if we can. I'll
That
tell
record
you,
may be in
with the
jeopardy
type
this
of
year.
statistics Bill Munyon compiles here, I would not be surprised to see it in here. He has everything. He has on a game per game basis. He could tell you how long the kickoffs have been for East Brunswick and the opponent. So.
And
Well,
we should point out that Bill Munyon has provided us with a great service by providing the halftime stats for us, and it's a valuable part of our broadcast. And so we'd like to publicly thank Bill.
He does a fine job all the time.
well, this is one of the few ones that he doesn't have right here.
Oh, we stumped him. We'll have to let him know. I'm
Well,
sure he has it somewhere.
Yeah, I can tell you, though, that the 28 that Harmon does now puts him in the 3rd position behind Beleza and Dave Crick. Well, you gentlemen help me. Chris Cow.
Dave
Kurzow.
You don't remember him?
Played for 1971.
Woo.
Played for them in 1971.
He was a good ball player.
Okay, he had 31.
3rd and 3 for the Bears on the Edison 28. This is DeVito. Dives over. Is he close to the first? Let's see.
Did he come down with the ball? Did he?
No, he has the ball. See where they spot it.
Well, it looks to be a little short.
And another Edison player is down.
Joey DeVito doing his Herschel Walker imitation there.
But I would suspect the Bears are going to go for it on this one, even if they are short.
They appear to be about less than a yard short. So it'll be a 4th and let's call it about a foot.
Well, they're not even going to measure this one.
Harmon's coming back in. Miller goes out. 2:58 to go in the game.
This might be your pitch to the wide side, Phil. What do you think?
Nope.
Nope.
I think it's got to be a straight dive, Jimmy.
All right, I formation with DeVito and Harmon in the backfield. 4th down. It's Harmon, and Harmon's not going to make it.
No, they were waiting for him there.
So Edison will take over with 2:40 to go. Down by 10. So Edison will start from the East Brunswick 27. Clock is running. And they took a timeout early in the 3rd period. So they have 2 left. Boslett on that sprint draw to Scapicchio. He'll pick up about 7.
I'll tell you, surprising call.
Yeah, he almost caught the Bears looking there for the pass.
Edison with a no-huddle offense now. Clock down to 2:04. 2nd and 3. Ball just across the Edison 35. Boslett being pressured and has to dump it.
That was Mike Hack.
Hack has been hacking them up tonight. He's really been everywhere.
That'll stop the clock at 1:54. Third and 3 for the Eagles. Boslett, short drop, looking over the middle for Busiri. In and out of his hands.
It's too bad. That's a 4th down. Of course, the Eagles are going to go for it here, no doubt. But the Bears are defending it well.
We got some fans trying to create the wave here, but they're not doing too good a job of it.
It'll be 4th and 3. Ball on their own 36. This could be the game for Edison. Their last shot. They give it to Scapicchio. He'll pick up the first. And he tries to get out of bounds, but he doesn't. Now they'll stop the clock for the first down. 1:42 to go.
Well, strange things have happened, but it appears that the Bears are in good shape to at least win this game.
Again, Edison with the no-huddle offense. Clock running down to 1:35. Boslett being pressured. Ball falls out of his hand. And somehow I think it fell back into his arms. But a big loss for Edison.
And the clock's going to...
Clock is running.
Yeah,
Edison is slowly moving about.
That's Mark Flynn on that tackle back there for a big loss for Edison.
Ball all the way back to the Edison 32. 1st and 20. Clock down to minute 4. Boslett looking deep. He's got a man out there. But there's Maloney, great defensive play.
And let's hear it for Kevin Maloney. I'll tell you what, he had a bad game against Cherokee, and he has really come back. He has not allowed a receiver to get behind him all game. He's done a really excellent job.
You're right.
Well, the Bears will be traveling to Woodbridge next week, gentlemen. That'll be one of the few day games that the Bears will be playing. It'll be a 1 p.m. contest at the Barons High School field, which is off, I believe, Route 34, Woodbridge Township, Route 35, okay.
And the entire Woodbridge staff is here scouting tonight.
All right, 55 seconds to go. 3rd and 20. Boslett pumps. He's going to be dropped for a loss.
That's St. Ugar in there.
And Senk stole the ball, I believe.
He has it.
Let's see what the officials call here.
Come on.
Whoa, wait.
They don't know what to call. He took that ball.
Took it right out of Boslett's hand. They're going to call it down, though.
Oh, quick whistle.
At the 24. That'll bring up a 4th, and let's call a bundle here.
And we've been calling St. Ugar's number all night, too.
Well,
Well, let's see.
Any player that has enough guts to hit the coach once he pads up will do anything. So
Truly, he's been outstanding this year
he has come on
for
well.
their defense.
He really has.
John, it looks like Edison is called. Is that its last time out?
No, they have one more.
Okay. They still have a bundle to go.
They have 26 yards to be exact. 4th down, the ball on their own 24, and they have 25 seconds, and they trail by 10, 24-14.
Now looking at the schedule after that Woodbridge game, and Woodbridge is they always have a good club. They always give East Brunswick a good game. They've been hurting a little this year. Their top running back, Dennis McKinn, we called his number a lot last year,
Right.
has been out with an injury, and we'll have to see if he's going to be available. And then the Bears will come home for 2 rather important home contests with Perth Amboy on October 23rd. That's a 7:30 p.m. Friday night contest. And then a big one against J.P. Stevens October 30th.
All right, Edison ready to crank it up again. 4th and 26. 55 seconds. I'm sorry, 25 seconds. Boslett heaving one down long for Bogdan. Incomplete.
Well defensed.
Maloney and number 21, that's Jay Dunham on the coverage. 17 seconds when East Brunswick will take over. And that should seal it, gentlemen.
So the Bears bring their record up to 3-1. And they are still alive for the Central Jersey Group 4 playoffs. You know, there's only 4 spots given to teams, and the home field advantage in those 2 games that are played are given to the higher seeded teams, and that's on power play points, and that's a whole different story there.
We tried to explain that one year. Anyway, Forte goes down to one knee, and now he's up, which I'd like to see.
There's a little bit of action right there.
Boy, you hate to see that.
Okay. And if I was Brian Forte, I would get off the field right now.
If I was a lot of players, I'd get off the field right now. Because
Brian is still in it.
Yeah, he's getting involved, and I think the coaches ought to pull him away.
We may see an end to the game right here, gentlemen.
Boy, Brian has really lost control of himself. I mean, something was said.
No, something was done, Jimmy, not said.
Well, I haven't seen Brian get this excited over something like this.
And this is not something you want to see.
And I think this game is probably going to be, as you mentioned, John, probably concluded by mutual agreement of the coaches.
Well, the thing about it, the game was so very well played itself to it happens in football, but it's unfortunate that it does have to happen.
All right, we're going to see what happens. And that's it. The game is over with 11 seconds left.
And there's not going to be the traditional handshaking.
Oh, I see Boslett coming across, and that's I'm
really
glad to see that.
sportsmanlike on his part. It really is.
Boslett shaking hands with Marcus Borden. And he is the only Edison player out there. Now Joey DeVito going over, as well as one of the East Brunswick coaches.
And here comes Brian Forte. Thankfully, he's got his head back. So you can see cooler heads have prevailed in the end, which is good to see.
So the game ends with 11 seconds to go after that melee, if you will, on the field. The official score, East Brunswick 24, Edison 14. And I think what we talked about in the first half, we witnessed in the second half, and that is taking control, keeping their composure, getting that running game going, and that pass was the key. That Forte to Trent pass really broke the game open.
Right, and I also have to think that that ball control offense, which Borden had intended to do tonight, he said, I want to make sure that we get a good ground game going, and that's going to open up the pass. And, you know, we saw that 53-yarder to Trent. So the Bears now, you know, have a lot of confidence going into the Woodbridge game next week, and I think we can see we're going to continue to see good things.
Phil?
Well, but this is the real East Brunswick team that we've been looking for all year. I mean, we talked about they were winning a few games, but they was rather raggedy. They showed good balance here. I think everyone has said it that with the tremendous runners that they have and Harmon and DeVito, that they should be running the ball more. Marcus Borden decided to run the ball more, then the passing looked more natural. It didn't look forced. And it's a type of team we expected in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, you're right. Well, not much more to be said here from J. Doyle Field. The Bears increased their record to 3-1, and they'll set their sights on the Woodbridge Barons next week at Woodbridge. So for Phil Hill and Jim Allinder, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.